Welcome back for part 3 of our distributions of data video. This one is going to be a fair bit shorter than video number 2. It's not going to take us long to knock it out. So here we've got a number of community service hours each of Ms. Tucci's students completed is shown. Describe the center and the spread of the data using either mean or standard deviation or the 5-numbered summary. Justify your choice by constructing a box and whisker plot. So right here you can see we've constructed the box and whisker plot, and on that box and whisker plot, and I'm going to jump over to my calculator screws so you can see exactly how they did that. So let me find that button right here. We're going to go ahead and turn this back on, and you can see right there I've got my list. I've already put my list of data in it. So now I'm going to say what kind of plot do I want. I'm going to hit the second and shift. I'm on the plot group 1, so that's going to be that, and you can see I've already got box and whisker plot selected right there with the outliers included. So from there all I have to do is hit graph, and on that graph you can see that my values, if you look at the graph, it's going to look just like theirs, and we're going to use theirs as a point of reference because it's a little easier to read what they did. Just looking at their graph, is it symmetrical? That's the big question here. If it's symmetrical, then we're going to be using the median and the standard deviation. If it's not symmetrical, then we have to use a 5-number summary. This graph clearly is not symmetrical. It's skewed to the right, or positively skewed. Your right whisker is way bigger than your left whisker. Half of your data. Alright, sorry about that phone call. As I was saying, half of the data is in this little bitty section right here. The other half of the data is in this huge section right here. Not symmetrical. Since it's not symmetrical, we have to use the 5-number summary. And the 5-number summary is super simple to find when you're using a box and whisker plot on a calculator. So let's take a look here and see what the textbook gave us, and then we're going to show you how to do it. They said the right whisker is longer than the left whisker. The median is closer to the left whisker. So once again, it is a positively skewed graph. And so they're going to instead use a 5-number summary. And how did they find that 5-number summary? Well, they said that the range, let's take a look and see the stats. I think I know how to do that, but let me check and make sure before I show you. Right, I was correct in how to show the data. So what we're going to do from here, we want to be able to read all that data that is associated with this data set. Now we've seen part of it already. Now we're going to look at the rest of it. So to find the rest of it, all we have to do is hit our stat button, which is right here. And then we're going to push the right hand button to go to calculate. And then we'll just hit the 1, because with that 1 right there, the 1 variable stats, you could also just hit your enter button, and that's going to give it to you. Now you notice that these stats, or this old stats that showed the mean and the variation information and whatnot, this isn't what we want though. We wanted the mean, median, mode, range, and all that little stuff. So let's take a look at this. We're going to take and scroll down, and it's not taking and scrolling down. There we go. I had to hit enter again and scroll down, and now you can see right here, this gives us the information that is associated with our box and whisker plot. The minimum value was going to be 2. The maximum value is 33. And if we jump back over here, we can see the minimum value on our screen was going to be 2, which is right here. Our maximum value is 33. Jump back over here again, the median was 11, and on this graph that would have been right here. And then of course the lower quartile 7, the upper quartile is 3. That's Q1 and Q3. This value is 7, and this value is 3. Another way you could find this data is we're going to go back to the graph. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to hit my graph button, and then I'm going to hit my trace button. And on the trace button, you can see the asterisk is on the minimum value, and on the very bottom left, it says x is equal to 2. I go 1 arrow to the right, Q1, that's my lower quartile. That's going to be 7. I go 1 more to the right, my median's 11. My Q3 or upper quartile is 19, and then my maximum value is 33. 2 different ways you can find that data using a handheld graphing calculator. Something I do want to remind you of, on a box and whisker plot, the distance between Q1 and Q3 is known as your interquartile range. Okay, that's what this value is known as. These two right here, the middle 2 quartiles, your interquartile range. You might see that again sometime on a test. Now, we're going to take the same data, only this time we're going to do it on our Desmos calculator. So I've already put in all my data in my X1 column on my Desmos calculator, and now I'm going to take and add a function. So I'm going to go here, add function, and I'm going to click my functions button. I'm going to scroll down to visualizations, and I'm going to hit a box plot. What are we doing? We're doing X1, so we're going to X, shift, underscore, and 1. And there is going to give us our same box and whisker plots. And if you want to find out what your data values are, well, right here, that one is going to line up to X is equal to 2. This one, X is equal to 33. So that's going to be my minimum and my maximum. My medium right here, X is equal to 11. My lower quartile is going to be where X is 7. My upper quartile is going to be where X is 19. So that gives us 2 different ways that we can take and find the data using graphing calculators, either the handheld graphing calculator or the Desmos graphing calculator. You can also find those data by hitting the plus sign again. We're going to hit a new function, and then for this one, I'm going to go into my function table, and under statistics, looky here, mean, medium, mode, maximum, or minimum, quartiles, and whatnot. So let's pick up the mean of X sub 1, and boom, there's your mean, which that's actually just a hair off. We set our mean off. That's why, because that's the mean. We don't want the mean. We want the median. So let's get rid of that. And instead, we're going to hit the median of X sub 1, which is going to be right here. X, shift up 1, and median's 11. Now we're going to take and find the minimum value, which I'll only do the minimum, won't do the maximum because it all works the same way. And the minimum value is 2. How about quartile? Let's see what happens when we do quartile, because I honestly don't know. So I'm going to hit quartile. I'm going to do X underscore 1. And that did not give us anything. So I'm not really sure what that quartile button is going to do for us. But I guess you just have to draw that out on the actual graph, or count it out on the actual graph right there. But what if you didn't want to push all those buttons and you wanted to see it in just one real pretty little spot? Check this out. So we're going to go one more time, come down here, we're going to hit our function, and this time we're just going to hit stats. We're going to type in the same X underscore 1, and look right there, the minimum, Q1, the medium, Q3, and the maximum. There's your 5 number survey without ever even doing the box plot. So you could have actually jumped straight from your data set, not done your box plot, not done that, not done that, just done this one right here, and boom, there's your 5 number survey without ever even looking at a box plot. Take the time, look at the box plot, learn how to interpret it. And that, I believe, is going to be the end of our lesson. Let's take a look. And it is indeed. Y'all get busy working on your homework assignment. Like I said, good news is you got a calculator you can use to solve all this. I'd encourage you to use a Desmos one, but if you have a handheld graphing calculator and you want to learn to use it, that's not a bad thing to do either, because when you get to high school, you're going to be using one of those.